Today we're going to talk about where a problem should be solved inside society. When I talk about the level of government, I'm talking about the city, county, state, or federal level. Right? Every single thing a government does, whether it be the city or the county or the state or the federal government, every single thing they do, every act they take costs you in some way or another, right? And we choose for them to do these things. We choose to impose on ourselves these costs. And since we do, I think that it's necessary to reduce to its lowest possible level, to none at all if possible, any kind of redundancy. Alright, so you don't ever want two levels of government doing the same task, because that is wasteful. Here in LA we have Los Angeles Police Department, and we also have Los Angeles County Sheriffs. Now, that might, from the outside, seem kind of redundant, but the fact of the matter is the sheriffs generally only patrol where there isn't LAPD. The next thing I think you should establish is that constant improvement requires experimentation. And because of that, and because you don't want redundancy, then it makes the most sense to try to do everything at the lowest level where experimentation can still be done. Because competing interests cannot be resolved. Some things have to be done at a higher level. Like, let's say you have a river, and along that river are, 100 cities. And that river supplies the water to all 100 cities. And those cities have conglomerated into 8 counties. Well, then no individual city and no individual county can really govern the water rights, the proper usage of the water, so it needs to be at the state level. I'm going to give you a few examples, and that's the examples I'm using are not the point of this lecture. I think cities should be able to do whatever they want. Okay, as long as it's not a violation of a constitutional right. They should be able to try anything they want to try. Because you should be allowed to fail, and a lot of things are stupid and will fail. I'd love to live in a city where I can get up in the morning, walk outside, and there's a donut waiting for me, and I have an electric walkway that takes me to Starbucks to get my coffee, and I can sit there with a paper that's free for me because I'm a resident of the city. I'd like that. But when you present to me how much it's going to cost me out of my pocket, I might decide to scale that back a little bit. Counties should resolve disputes between cities about land, water, and air usage. They should do their best to manage and incentivize new industry, and then they should provide like the kind of emergency services, hospitals, fire and police, EMT across the board. And let's go down to the state, but I think I'll explain it from the point of view of the city first. If you had like a city Department of Education, and each city had their own, then given two examples of like Beverly Hills and Compton, and let's talk about Compton at its worst, because Compton's actually getting better. So, Compton as a place that is lower income and crime-ridden, and Beverly Hills as a place that's higher income and has low crime. Let's just talk about those two factors, these two comparable factors. Okay? If each city provided its own education funding and then developed its own education system, then the result would be that the kids who grow up in Beverly Hills would then be better educated, more likely to graduate, more likely to go to college, possibly more likely to bring their family back to Beverly Hills to raise them up in this better education system. And then it creates this constant feedback loop, this positive feedback loop, right? And then the kids in Compton would get a worse education, not feel like they could, not make it into college, some of them not even, graduate high school, and then be drawn into the crime that's around them already, and then raise their kids in the same thing, and it would create this negative feedback loop. And since high crime in Compton can negatively affect Beverly Hills, because they are close to each other, then really it's in Beverly Hills' best interest that they not have city by city departments of education. Compton might come up with the best possible concept for teaching kids, for educating children, but without the funding it'll never work. It's at the state level. You're not going to see this drastic disparity between the classrooms in the inner city and the classrooms out in the rural counties and the classrooms that are in the suburbs. They should all essentially be the same. So within your state, everyone has this equal opportunity to become successful, to graduate high school, to graduate community college, to go on to a university, to become whatever it is they want to be. At the federal level, one of the things that just has to be at the federal level is national defense. Now, it's been tried in other ways. It's been tried where essentially each state contributed its own piece of the military. But the problem with that is that if you were to make it law that each state must contribute their own army or piece of the army, then the states in the middle might just decide to kind of barely outfit their military because they know that all the border and coastal states feel like it's in their best interest to make sure that their military is top notch. So what do the ones in the middle really need to spend any money for? So essentially they're shirking their communal duty to provide that. And it's in their best interest to do so. It's in their best interest not to spend money on their military that they're supposed to give to the federal government for its national defense. So it's not the best place for it to be at that state level. It needs to be at the federal level. If we're doing those things, if we've determined that the issue we're talking about meets all those criteria, then now it's ripe for discussion. Now we can actually delve into it, dig into it, and get into the meat of the argument. We can really discuss it at its basic level. I think a lot of arguments that we're having are going nowhere because we haven't established first that the right place of our government, the right group, is trying to deal with the problem. Maybe we can fix that first. I hope you like the video. This is my third video in the series of car lectures. These are a series of lectures designed for my kids in case I'm not around to give them the things that I think are important in life to know. I'm going to start a new series, which I'm going to call Stupid Should Hurt, because I do think that stupid should hurt and it doesn't, and that's why there's so much of it. It's essentially going to be my rants about different topics. If you like this video, like it, click subscribe. If you want to see more, and then click that bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified every time I put something new out. I really appreciate you guys' support. Like, comment, tell me what you want to see, and be safe. Have a great day.